Welcome back to another episode of Brothers Unplugged.
Horse.
That's your horse.
Episode
13, I think.
We are back. And we are on crack.
We're back on crack.
So, before I start, I have one button to press. This one. Follow the Instagram. Sid, what's Instagram?
At Brothers_unplugged_podcast.
Follow the Spotify. Rate 5 stars. Follow the Apple. Follow the rate 5 stars. Subscribe to the YouTube and follow the TikTokings.
All links in the description as well.
I'm hoping they work. We need to actually link the TikTok.
Yeah, we haven't linked it yet.
But I don't know if it gives you a URL.
You should do.
If not, just fucking search the name. It's bright purple. And you hear about Sid looking for ducks. And eating unlimited cheesy chips. So I think at this point, the admin sounds are just TikTok trends.
Yeah.
I go on TikTok and I'm like, ooh.
I like that.
That'd be a good one. Whether we get fucking copyrighted for all these, I don't know, but we'll find out soon. So,
what are they going to do?
We are now in the teen segment of the podcast.
It's not a phase, Mom.
What?
It's not a phase, Mom.
Where are you? It's not a phase. So we're actually in the teens now of the podcast.
Yes.
Without too many.
What you like?
Too many complaints. What, 13?
Yeah. Or is that too old?
Too old. I can still. I'm not going to carry on this.
Stop.
Next episode, Sid will be on his own because I'll be in prison. And I'll be on G-Wing, the paedophile one. I think it's G-Wing. Something like that. I don't know. So
go find out.
I'll find out from my friends in HMP Chelmsford.
No clue.
Anyway. We will bleep this.
Okay, I was about to say, you might want to bleep it. I don't know who, but yeah, bleep it. I'm also, just quickly as well, giveaway. 200 follow giveaway on Instagram.
Yeah.
Share us about. Put the link everywhere. Share the link. Put it in your bum. Don't know. Share us about. As soon as we hit 200 followers, we'll be doing a live giveaway on Instagram. Maybe something else if you're lucky. And the winner will be picked from a random number generator. All you have to do, go to the post that our giveaway is on, like it, share it on your story, tagging us, and tag 3 people in the comments, and you're entered in the giveaway.
If you don't have 3 friends, then just tag 1. I'll still take it.
Oh, fair enough. Why? Because how many friends do you have?
Like 2. 1.5. Oh, actually, no, Reese makes up for it because he's like really tall. I have a couple.
1.5.
Not many. I don't know, because he keeps beating me up, so I'm like reconsidering our friendship. And I know he listens to this, so every time we train, he just like stabs me in the fucking chest with his foot.
Oh. So, no, I'm alright. That's why I don't go.
Yeah, well.
I don't want to get beaten up.
Builds character.
I'm alright, thanks.
As I say. Builds character.
Oops.
Sid didn't turn his phone on silent.
Sorry.
I just would like to add to the giveaway thing. If you've asked us, messaged us on Instagram and asked for a hat, I will order them. I'm waiting for them to come to us first so we can check the quality of them.
Have you any update on that? Or no, nothing yet?
No, well, the hats have been ordered and I think the logo's set up, so it's now just a case of waiting for it to be done. But if we get the hats and we're like, well, they're a bit shit, the hats, like the quality of the hat is a bit shit, then I'll order a few more or 2 more in a better quality hat if they can go up on, or I'll supply 2 better hats. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't want to order more and then the hats be shit. But if you have entered the giveaway and you also want a hat, I will get the hat sent out to you anyway. But if you win the giveaway, because you'll probably get the hat before we get to 200 because it's taking forever. But yeah, if you do want a hat and you have one and then you end up winning the giveaway, I will either send you another hat or a beanie hat or a different style of hat, or we'll give you the money back that you paid for the hat.
Yeah.
Or I will get you something equivalent to the money that you paid for the hat in the giveaway. Don't know what I'm doing with my hand.
No clue.
I'm like Ice Cube.
West side. Anyways.
So we are carrying on from last week. Oh, actually, no. I am going to go through my list. List of stuff. I'd just like to say, this is the second time recording this. We did record last night. But he had a bad belly.
Bad belly.
So he shit himself in my garage and left.
I didn't end up really well. No, I thought I'd be alright. No.
No, there's poo stains in the garage.
Poo stains. You had to spray over with red pepper.
He went like this. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. That's a big one, Zenny.
Jesus.
So we done about 20 minutes last night. And then Sid was looking at his phone and I was like, something's wrong here. He's trying to like occupy himself with something else.
Yeah, I tried distracting myself with...
I know, because I done it when I was... Do you remember that episode where I had my lemsips?
Yeah.
And my ear was hurting when I was talking and my throat. And I was trying to do the same thing. And you're looking at your phone, I was like, he's not interested. And then all of a sudden you went, I gotta take a shit. I was like, right now? You're like, oh yes, it's coming out. And then he ran away. And then I see the toilet light on for ages. I was like, damn, that's a big poo-poo. And then he came back in, he was like, hunched over. I was like, fuck me, you've got about 2 foot shorter. He was like, it don't feel good. I was like, should we just try again tomorrow? So this is take 2. So everything in this list of stuff that I'm going to talk about, Sid already knows. So act surprised.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So I'll actually say that. No one fucking else knows, so I don't care. Number 1. Uno numero 1.
Yes.
Is that a language?
Uno is 1.
Numero uno.
Uno, dos, tres. Carry on.
Mr. Worldwide. So the end of the last episode, right, I edit everything, and how do I put this? When I edit parts out that I don't want in, or big pauses or whatever, I will cut it out.
No way.
What?
Really?
Shut your mouth, poo pants.
You said act surprised. I'm going to act surprised.
I'm going to start calling you Skid Mark.
But I had a friend who called me Skid Mark all the time. And he had me saved on his phone as Skid Mark.
Oh.
And every time I called him, he used to have like the Siri say my name as well. You can have that setting on and it'd come up. Skid Mark is calling.
Oh, okay. Are you still friends?
Don't really talk to him now, no.
Oh. Thanks for that.
Anyways.
So when I cut things out, I go back to where I'd cut out and then replay the audio. So I know it sounds right. I haven't cut anything else extra out. So it doesn't get halfway through a sentence and then like I cut something random. I'm just fucking waffling now. So when I was editing, the whole thing sounded fine. There was nothing to sort of pull up and I had to do anything to the audio. It was all fine. It sounded how it normally sounds. Like every episode we've done, when this is out, there'll be 13 episodes, or by then it was 11 and I had no audio issues. And then Mum come on with a fucking spooky brain. And the only part of the episode that started echoing was as soon as she come on.
No.
But in the editing, there was no echo.
It was like parts of the audio would echo. Like soon as she came on,
yeah,
you could hear yourself through her mic, kind of. It was like that. It was like we could hear you. You could hear you like you are now, but you could hear yourself like from a distance as well. It was really weird. And then parts of it as well was like really loud.
Yeah.
Like one part, like it was just going through. I was just listening, and all of a sudden you'd gone from like, so tell me, what do you do? And I was like, with my headphones in, jumped. I was like, what is wrong with the audio? And I was like,
well, it sounded, when I edited that, it sounded fine. Because I've gone back to each part I've edited. There was no issues with audio. And I shit you not, I haven't done anything to make it echoey or anything like that. I literally do the same as I do on every episode. I drag each file in and then line them all up and then check the sound. They usually line up on themselves because they're all the same length. But usually it's fine. That one, everything was lined up as well. Everything was all perfectly in line. And that one had gone echoey and it just was really weird. And I don't know what it was. Maybe ghosts.
The ghosts.
Yeah, maybe. So
which links to this episode.
Yeah.
Which I've been quite excited for, because if you didn't listen to the last episode, which you should, you little nonce.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the episode, we got our mum on.
I'm going to lose my job.
I'm going to lose my job.
And she was 12.
Anyways, she is a psychic medium.
Yep.
Which some people probably are confused by. She told us a little about herself on last episode at the end. And we was talking about it, and then we started going on to about some ghost experiences that we have, because me and you, we have.
Can I interject quick?
Yes.
I didn't finish my list.
Sorry, I was just linking off.
So, echoing, bloke being manhandled in the cage at the club, and a girl cried because I wouldn't let her in. Anyway, carry on. We'll just leave it there.
Right.
Carry on.
And
that's my list done.
And then so we kind of got into a little bit of stories, and we thought, you know what? This is next episode. So we thought we would plan out next week's episode, which is this week.
Yeah, baby.
We're share some of the ghost stories we've had.
Yeah. We're going to try and do a whole episode of ghosty stories. We did put it on Instagram, and the only thing we got were fucking sarcastic replies. You bunch of wankers. Not on mine. On the
podcast one?
Yeah, on the podcast page.
I didn't get nothing came through.
Really?
No.
There was a few on there, and all I got was sarcastic fucking comments.
What?
I'll read them.
I didn't have nothing come through on it.
So basically, I put a post up. Right,
Yeah.
That said, if you haven't seen it, I made a post and it said, any experience with the paranormal, send us your ghost stories. And then like the little box thing where you write it. And
I've just seen them on the jackpot.
So we had a few replies, but yeah, Jack, you bastard. There was one serious one which I'll go into because that's a whole story.
Yeah,
and I've got photos as well. I won't post a photo because I don't know if he wants his face on podcast page. Maybe I can blur it. I don't know. We'll see. So we had. Go on. What did Jack put?
Jack put from Kenya. Come back saying, I've had a curry that's come back to haunt me a couple of times.
I like it because you spelled haunt wrong as well. You spelled it like haunt and here's a who.
Oh.
Then Michael put, ask your mother, she has loads. Well, yeah, thanks for that. We gathered that. Was asking for yours, Michael. Okay. And then, just a bit of backstory to this. I also put a story up after that said, also, enter the giveaway, you get free shit. Might even give you a cuddle. And then one of my friends, Luke, went, I just want the cuddle. I think Michael messaged me as well. Went, I'll take a Charlie cuddle. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then, so what we'll do, I'll start this off with one of these replies. So, right. Did you get any on your personal one, by the way?
No. Everyone's boring.
Fucking pricks.
I think, let me check. I didn't really check a lot.
We didn't see these ones, so I sort of lost hope, really.
No, everyone doesn't have any paranormal experiences but us, apparently.
I should have asked, because this one is from Jamie. Do you remember Jamie?
No.
You will do, if you see a photo of him. Have a look.
Hold on, yeah. I think I do, but obviously it was from...
Jamie and Libby, they were like my best friends at school. Hi, guys.
Hold on. Don't particularly remember him.
Well, anyway, he put the one at your old house. I'll send a picture with it in the background. So basically what happened, we were... Oh, how old are we? Like 13? 14? Something like that. And he'd come round. Did he send the photo to Al?
Yeah.
He did.
The post. Yeah.
So if you have a look at that photo, right, I might post it. And
I have seen it before, but yeah.
And it come up the day after as well on my Facebook memories, which is really fucking weird.
Really?
Yeah. So everything lines up a bit weird for me. It don't sit right. Like this come up and I commented it and I tagged him in it. I was like, how fucking strange. And he was like, that's a bit weird. So basically he come round mine. So when we lived in the old house.
Very old house.
Yeah.
Even in the picture, it's old.
Yeah. So we were about 13. Daisy was probably like, what? 5, 4? I don't know. She's still alive.
She was then.
Well, she doesn't look it, but she is. And I don't know why, but I took a photo of him while we were watching a film, just randomly.
Yeah.
And then he took one of me as well and put it on his. But if you zoom into this, where that photo is on the left side of his head,
next to the picture frame, yeah.
In the window, there is a face.
It's weird looking.
It looks a bit like a skeleton face.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Very skinny.
But basically looks like it's from outside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. That is not on the inside and nothing at all. And the thing is, that is literally...
That is a face.
If you compare it to... So you see his face, which is closer. Obviously, it's going to be bigger because it's closer. It's roughly the same size as his face.
And you can't say this was, it's a skeleton. So you probably had Halloween decorations up because it come up on my memories about... When did we record? So last week. Yeah. It come up on my memories. So this was in the start or the middle of January.
Yeah.
However many fucking years ago.
And then some people say, oh, because you're watching a scary movie, it might be a reflection off the window. But if you look to the left of the face, you can see the corner of the TV or the reflection of the window, and you can see that clearly.
It's blue.
Yeah, the screen's blue, and then the face is like a very faint greyish in the middle of this line. You can see the two eyes.
And then there's like a black background around it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So this is sort of like really brain mushed us for years. We've never been able to sort of like figure out what it is. Also, that living room was very fucking long.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't like the reflection of the TV would have been minuscule.
You can see in the reflection is the top coping of the other side of the lounge, which is quite low.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of how long the lounge was.
Yeah.
And you could see the reflection, but the only thing there was nothing on that wall.
No.
So it can't.
Well,
be
nothing that would reflect that big anyway. If
Yeah.
it was reflecting anything on the wall, it would have been tiny.
Yeah.
Because it just, what?
And it looks like it's literally outside that window as well.
What size is this garage, do you reckon? But my garage is a basic size garage. A generic size garage. How big is this? What? I don't fucking know.
I'd say, what?
15 foot? 20 foot?
How many meters would you say? 5, 6?
Yeah, it might be about 6, 7 meters. I don't know, something like that. So but the living room was longer than this garage.
Oh, it was like this garage and probably another half of it.
Yeah, that's how long the living room was.
We had a long living room.
So it's nothing that reflected off the wall. It's just there, and we've never been able to explain what it is. And I think we've always had this theory, but Jamie thinks that it's that guard that you was on about, the one with the hat.
The one with the bowler's hat.
Yeah, because he thinks he can see like a hat on it, which I can't really see, but I don't know how he.
Unless it's a really long hat, because I can see something faint there, but I wouldn't.
But also, the bloke was really tall. This guard is really tall. Like the one that Sid said about last week, which was the one that was standing in my mum's doorway. I think he must be about 6 foot 2, 6'3". Like he's a tall bloke.
Did you ask Mum about him, the height?
No, but I've seen him.
Have you?
Yeah. So in the old house, by the end of where the telly was, so on the opposite wall from that photo.
Yeah.
Remember we had the French doors, and then Mum had a cabin.
Yeah.
So in the garden, my dad built a log cabin for her. And she used to do like her one-to-one readings where people would come around and she'd do a reading. And she also did like parties and theatres and whatever else. And that cabin used to face the doors.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
So you could see the window.
Yeah. So do you remember that cream sofa we had? We also had a cream puffy, didn't we?
Yeah.
Next to the double-seater.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there watching, I remember this, like clear as fucking day. I remember sitting there watching Saturday Night Takeaway, eating a Chinese. And I used to sit on this puffy. I don't know why.
It was a comfy thing, though. That thing was comfy.
So it's a simple perfect. I remember sitting there watching the telly, and Mum remembers this, and I turned around to her, and I've looked through the French doors, which you can see the front of the cabin. So the cabin had like a wooden door, and then it had one window.
Yeah.
Like one of the I don't know what they're called. You're a window man.
Cross windows.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Apparently. Okay, I'm a window man.
I don't know.
So I see a figure in this door. So I see this figure of someone like in my peripheral while I was watching the telly, and I've looked, and there was blinds, like the cheap sheet blinds, the ones you twist and they go.
Yeah,
it was them, and through that I could see this bloke, like a figure of a man, in a suit, in a black suit, like a black blazer, or waistcoat, or
like a 4-piece suit kind of.
And he had a tie on, and he had a hat on, like a top hat. I could just see the top of his hat.
Yeah.
And
so he was quite low down, or did you see him fully?
Well, I was quite low down because I was on the puffy.
Yeah.
So I could sort of see up, and it's like looking at this from here. If you stand up, you can see less height. But where I was sitting low on the puffy, I could sort of see up a little bit.
All right.
So I've only just seen the start of his top hat, and it fucking shit me up. And I put the fucking Chinese on the side, I run over and jumped on Mum. I was like, there is someone in your cabin. And this was, I must have only been about 12.
Oh, yeah, it was young.
12, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I said to Mum, there's someone in your cabin. And she asked me to describe him, and I told her it looked like, I said, suit, black suit, like old-fashioned suit, smart, and a hat. And she went, oh, that's fine, he's my guide. I was like, he's your what? He's my guide. I was like, well, can you guide him fucking somewhere else? I'm trying to eat my chicken balls and watch Saturday Night Takeaway. I want them to win it all. And she's like, no, don't be scared. I was like, There's a fucking ghost. Don't be scared. So this is when she started doing readings.
The thing is, this was pitch black as well, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, in the garden. There was some little lot, but in the cabin's pitch black.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Was it? How did you see him through? Because it was all dark.
Well, there was lights, wasn't there, on the wall of the house.
Yeah.
So
so it kind of reflected.
Where
off.
we had the dogs, Dad used to, when we used to let dog out, we used to turn the light on, didn't we?
Yeah.
So the lights were obviously on in the garden, and it had shone a light through like the window slightly. So I could only just see like the figure of this person, but it was a weird one because I knew it wasn't like a real person.
Yeah.
Which there's another one which I thought was a real person, which wasn't.
Right.
We'll go into that in a little while.
See, I don't know half the stuff that you know. I think.
Yeah, and then I don't know how old I was when Mum started doing like it seriously as like a career.
She used to have a. What did she do before? She was a. What did she do? Was it ironing?
Yeah, she had an ironing business.
Yeah,
she's done fucking all sorts.
I know. But now she's doing.
Well, she ever told you the story when she worked in the nursing home?
Yes. Not the story, but she used to work in a nursing home.
So she said when she left school, I think she was sort of 19, 20, she worked in a nursing home, and she had they all like had their own bay of patients pretty much, so they looked after. So she had this one, she said to me, she had this one old girl that she was looking after, and Mum had gone downstairs to go and get something.
Yeah. So
she's gone back upstairs. And as she's gone to walk back up the steps, she see this old girl was out of her bed. So she said to her, "What are you doing up? Go get back into bed."
Yeah.
Because she was really old. And apparently with that, she walked across the landing and through the fucking wall. Yeah. But obviously and then Mum had gone into the room and she was laying there and she died.
Oh, she was dead?
Yeah, she's dead.
Oh, she went back in the room, she was dead?
Yeah.
But she thought that the...
So she's gone to walk up the stairs, see her, told her to go back to bed, and the woman had just walked through the wall. So then Mum's run upstairs into the room and she had passed.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
But it was a woman who'd passed she'd seen?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah. So obviously she's run up to check on her. She was like, "What the fuck? You just walked through a wall." I think she knew at this point, but she's gone up and she'd gone. And then she worked in a like a funeral director's.
All right.
And she used to do like the makeup and stuff on the bodies.
Yeah.
That's apparently.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. Right fucking weird.
Didn't know that. She loves doing that. She did that with Nan.
I know, it's right fucking weird.
I know, because we walked in. I remember walking in. I thought...
Was you there at the hospital?
No.
No, because I hadn't long come back from holiday. So I text Nan and said, I text her on holiday, see how she was. And I said, when I'm back, I'll come up. And then I text her like 2 days before. I said, we're going to come up on... I think it was on Halloween. No. She come up on... I said, we're coming up. I think it was Sunday. So it was Halloween.
Yeah.
And we'd gone up. This is right fucking morbid story, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, well, not morbid, but we'd gone up. So me, Mum, and Dad had gone up to see her, and was there.
Yeah,
he'd already got there, and we'd gone up there, and he was crying. Curtains were around,
which is Dad's brother.
Yeah,
I don't want to blur his name. I don't know.
So yeah, our uncle, and he turned around and said, "I was like, she's gone."
Well,
I was like, "Where's she gone? She's broken her fucking knees. She can't get out of bed." But yeah, we'd gone in there. And obviously I think it was only about 10 minutes before we got there. She'd gone, so it weren't long. And then, Mum started fucking like, I don't know, it creeps me out because I remember seeing Grandad in the funeral home, like the dogs, where they keep him in the family bit, where you can see the body. I remember doing that, but then when I was a lot older then, or now, so when I'd see Nan, it was like more surreal.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And yeah, Mum started like fucking brushing her hair, and I was like, Mum, she's dead.
She's not here anymore.
Yeah, and she just like did it without hesitation. Like there's no hesitation to touch a dead body.
Oh yeah, no.
It's right fucking weird.
When we went to, it was a day of the funeral because obviously me, Mum, and Dad went to see Nan and the funeral directors out the back because obviously the same place where Grandad was. But obviously Grandad, I was too young. I was like what, 6, 5, 6? I think
I was about 13. So
and
12.
But I see him through the blur glass, but obviously I couldn't see enough. And obviously with Nan, I was old enough. We walked in there, and it was a weird feeling, really weird feeling. That room was like...
It's a very eerie room.
Yeah.
It's a really fucking... I mean, there's probably loads of people that have done the same thing.
It's
not a weird feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And that feeling in them rooms when you go see like a relative that died was if you walked into this one-to-one cabin that Mum had in the garden, was the same thing. You had that horrible feeling. I remember she took... one of my mates in there before in like the summer when we were about 19, 20.
Yeah.
And she'd gone in, and he didn't believe any of it. He was like, "No, it's a load of bollocks." Duh, duh. So she'd gone, "Just go sit in the cabin." And he then shit himself and was like, "No." She's like, "Just go sit in there," because there was a sofa in there. So they had like a chair, and maybe sit on the sofa and like table and whatever else. And he went and got and sat in this sofa. And I remember looking through the door, and he'd gone in with Mum. She left the door open, but he sat in his sofa and he sunk into this sofa and put his arms on the arms of the sofa.
Yeah.
And he sat there for about 2 minutes. And he looked at me and went, "I can't get up." I went, "What?" He went, I'm stuck to the sofa.
Physically, I remember what I'm saying about this. He physically couldn't move.
Yeah, and he said that he felt like someone was pinning him down to this sofa. And then Mum was like, "Come in, let's leave." And then she walked out and he was like, "Whoa," and then got up. He was like, "I'm never fucking going in there again." I was like, "Yes." I was like, "It's a very weird feeling." It's like you go in there and you'd get tingles, and I'd be like, "Ugh."
I remember I went in there once and got lightheaded. I went in there, I used to go in there all the time.
Yeah.
And
I didn't mind, but she'd go, "Oh, can you go in there and get this out?"
yeah.
But she used to keep her like speakers and stuff or whatever else. Or they used it as storage at one point, didn't they?
Yeah.
She's like, "Can you get this out?" And I'm like, "Do I have to?"
Because obviously she stopped 1-to-1 readings, which then obviously that cabin wasn't in use anymore, so we just used it as storage. I remember one year, I was a bit younger, you remember that short little Santa we have, decoration?
Yes.
Yeah, and it was the start of December, or November, end of November-ish, and Mum went, "Can you go get the decorations out the cabin? We're going to get the tree up, everything." And I was like, all right. Went in there, grabbed something else, and then grabbed that Santa. I remember having that Santa in my left hand. I turned round, and at the end of our garden weren't the longest, but it was like a short kind of garden.
Yeah, like wrapped around the house, a little bit.
And I remember seeing next to the shed, next to the plant bit, there was a bloke. I thought that was a guy. I was like, "Oh, God."
Run, fucker!
Right, we're going to stop now. We're creeped out. There was a bloke. It was literally like a blink of an eye. You're staring behind me, but I'm not really fooled.
There's a scary lady. Oh, it's just Debbie. That's not.
It was.
Oh, she's got no makeup on. Fuck.
Take your mask off, please. And I remember turning round with the decorations in hand. At the end of the garden, it was like, you know, when you blink, it was just it's instantly.
Yeah.
It was like that, but I could see a bloke standing there. He was all black because he was like a black outline figure.
That's racist.
He was fully black.
He was African.
Black.
Say.
No, he was actually just a black figure. He had nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't see no clothes, like the edge of his trousers, nothing.
Yeah.
Top of his trousers, if he had a top on, nothing. And he stood there. And
just standing there in the garden wanking.
Hello, little boy. And then he had his arms crossed, but he kind of leant on one leg and like had the other one out, kind of. And he was standing there, and he was looking directly at me. And I stopped and I paused, and I went, "Did I just see that correctly?" Like it was like a 6-foot bloke.
Yeah.
Standing there, he had nothing out on nothing. It was just all black, and I thought, "Oh," and I just didn't think anything on it. I went, "Right." I was confused. So I dropped the Christmas decorations and walked over there.
Threw the fucking Santa at him. That, you prick.
And yeah, I went over there and I was like, this is where I stood on where he was standing, and I was like,
where did he go?
Right then. I was like, anyways, I went and grabbed the Christmas stuff, walked back in, and I went to Mum. I could see a bloke standing in the garden. She was like, "Oh, did you? Okay. Did you get the Santa decorations?" I was like, "You're not bothered. I can see a man standing in our garden, Mum."
There was one when you was a baby in that house. The majority of these stories are from when we lived in this house.
This old house. Was it?
Well, I
it
think
wasn't haunted, but it was.
There was activity there.
Yeah.
I think it's because Mum started like doing readings at the house, so it just attracted a lot of people.
Yeah.
Spirits is what you want to call it. And there was one when you was a baby. You were in a walker, and I was off school because I was ill, and you were having a nap. I think you was upstairs and you can't have a nap. So I must have been only about 7, 8, and we were watching a film. And your walker was in the corner down by the telly.
Yeah, it was on the one on wheels.
Yeah. So me and Mum were sitting there watching a film, and all of a sudden this walker lifted up about 5 inches off the floor, and then just went,
just dropped.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. And I looked, and she was like, "Don't panic." I was like, "Well, that moved by itself." And you're here, and I'm here. There's no one else. So yeah, and she was like, "No, it's okay." I was like, "You sure?
It's not.
Are we going to die? Is he going to throw at us?" Yeah, I was like, "What?" I was like, "He is never going in that walker again. It's possessed." Yeah, that house was weird. And when she first started doing her readings in the cabin, it must have only been about a year, 2 years that she was doing them. And do you remember that cabin bed I had?
What?
The cabin bed, the big metal bed with the desk underneath.
Oh, yeah.
Like the bunk bed.
Metal bar thing, yeah.
So then I had a computer underneath that. Well, at the time I had a laptop. And then in the corner of underneath that desk, underneath that bed and the desk next to it was a neon green LED bar.
I think I remember this slightly.
Light bar. Yeah. So I used to go in, sit in the desk and turn this green light bar on.
Illuminator.
Yeah. But I had a PC, the old PC, the horrible grey one. I had that, and then I had a laptop. So I remember, I don't know why, but I think the PC was fucked. So I had the PC on, and then I had the laptop next to it, and then on the right-hand side was the green light bar standing up against the like the puffy bit. Mum was working, Dad was downstairs.
Wait, whereabouts was this in your room? Was it as you go in?
So as you go in,
the door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then as you go in, the desk is like there underneath the bed. And I remember sitting there, and the light bar was on, and I was sitting there. I think I was watching YouTube on my laptop.
Yeah.
And the PC was on. It was just, I don't know why, it was just, I can't remember that fucking far back, but it was just on. And I was sitting there, and this light bar just turned off. And I thought it had just broken. So then I'd switched it off and switched it back on, and it come back on. I turned around to go back onto the laptop to say, this is the desk here.
Yeah.
And then the light bar was like here.
Oh, right.
So I'd gone, switched it off, switched it back on, it come on. I turned around, and the laptop was shut.
No.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck this. And I run downstairs. I was like, there is someone in my fucking room. And then Mum come in and she had a little break. And Dad was like, you were like as pale as a ghost. I was like, yes. Yeah, something had. And he went, are you sure you just didn't leave it closed? I was like, no, I was watching a video. I remember watching a video.
Did you pause it before?
No.
Stopped, you carried on?
I just leant over, turned the light off, turned it back on. I come back and the laptop was closed. I remember it because I was watching a Dude Perfect video.
Dude Perfect.
Yeah. That's
this is how to shut your laptop.
And was it Dude Perfect? It was like a trick shot video.
Yeah.
I think it was Dude Perfect. I don't know. But I remember watching these like stupid fucking trick shot videos. And I turned around and the laptop was shut. And I was like, oh, fuck this, and run. So I was like, nope, never. And then everything sort of stopped for a couple of years. I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
The older I got, the weirder they got.
Really?
Have I ever told you a story about the man in the garden, the old man? That fucking scared the life out of me. Dad walked from out the garage.
Oh, yeah, he's in the garage.
Oh, my God. I turned around and went, the man in the garden, and Dad walked out from behind the house. I was like, oh my God, he's back! That was really fucking shit timing. Yeah, have I ever told you a story about the man in the garden?
Man in the garden?
At the old house.
No.
So I was babysitting you.
Yeah.
And I must have been about 14, 15. So Dad had taken Mum to work. She was obviously doing a show somewhere.
And he stays with her when she used to.
Yeah,
he
used to
with
do
her.
them. And then this was when she used to do like bigger shows.
Yeah.
So in like some of the theatres and like the bigger places. Yeah, he'd taken her to work and he was obviously there with her. I think you were in bed because this was about 9 o'clock in the evening.
Was it just me and you in the house? Or
Yeah, just me and you. Oh, Jake might have been there. I don't know. No, I don't think he was because I remember ringing Dad.
All right.
And I'd gone to let the dog out in the garden to go for a wee. And as I've opened the door, I must have been about 16 then. Yeah, I was about 16. But I opened the door to let the dog out for a wee. And as I've opened the door and the lights were on, there was a man standing. So if you open the door, just sort of like round the corner a little bit, but not so much that it's behind the wall.
Yeah.
Just sort of there. There was an old man standing in the garden, facing the wall, just on the
so
grass.
he had his back towards you?
Yeah. And I looked and I was like, the fuck? But I didn't. Usually when you see stuff, it's like, you know it's not a real thing. But this just felt real. Like it was a real person. So
what was he wearing?
He was wearing like what do you call them? Like do you remember Dad's jacket that he used to go shooting in? Like the cross-hatched one. I don't know what they're fucking called. Someone's going to kill me for this. It's like a tartan pattern. Or like a knitted tartan pattern. Green and like purple checkers. One of them.
I literally had in my head, it was the wrong colour. But I had...
It was like a really dark...
A red checkered top.
No.
I literally, that's what was in my head.
No, it was like a dark greeny, like a dark green, like a khaki sort of colour.
I think I know what you mean,
with like a purple cross stitch all over it. But like it looked really dirty. And then a pair of black trousers.
Yeah.
And then just like smart shoes. And that was it. And I looked in the garden, I see him, and I was like, what the fuck? And I just thought it was an old man that stumbled into the garden. So I went, hello? Nothing. And I was like, oh, the fuck? So I was like, Daisy,
dogs go over there or something?
No, dogs didn't go over there. Daisy went for a wee and come back in. So I was like, Daisy, quick, get the fuck in. So I let her in, shut the door, locked it, And then I'd gone to look out the window at the back where
Yeah.
that photo was taken to look at the gate, see if the gate was unlocked. I thought some old man has obviously just stumbled in. If he's got fucking dementia or Alzheimer, I don't know what the fuck he's got.
Yeah.
If he's just stumbled in and forgotten where he was. And I looked, and the gate was locked.
Yeah.
And I'd gone back to the door to look, gone.
Ah.
And I was like, what the fuck? So I rang Dad and I was like, there was someone in the garden. And he thought I was talking bollocks. I was like, I fucking promise you, there was some old man in the garden. And then for about 2 years, I kept seeing this random man.
Really?
So after the first sort of, Mum asked about it, and I described it. And then after 5-6 months, I don't know what the fuck she'd done, but she'd obviously spoke to someone somewhere in the house or spoken to him. Apparently, this bloke was, do you remember the woman over the road, the ginger woman?
Ginger woman.
Yeah, so at the end of our road, you come out, the house bang opposite.
Oh, I went to school with her son.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to go around her house all the time.
Yeah, so there, apparently, that was her, is it her dad or her granddad? So they basically built the house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
It was him, and he died in the house or something like that. And Mum said, oh, don't worry, if you see him, this is just him.
That was his house.
Yeah, so it was his house. I was like, yeah, but it's not anymore. So get the fuck out of the garden. And it was just really weird. And I just thought, what the fuck is going on? Oh, is he coming over? Yeah, he must be. I don't know what he's doing.
Coming up to the window.
Is he trying to scare us?
Probably.
The man in the garden. It looks a bit like that.
30. Hi, Dad.
Hello. You okay?
Yeah.
I know you're there. I can see you.
Knocking like we can't see it. Didn't Mum tell you that she's trying to turn me to a medium, psychic medium, like her?
Yeah.
Still sitting there.
I don't know how that works.
No, she's trying to turn me into. There was 2 situations where this has worked, and obviously she describes it as her opening an iron gate,
Yeah.
and then when she opens up, and then when she shuts down, she feel like she imagines it shutting down.
Yeah,
Really weird talking. Her dad just walking. Go bed.
Shut your fucking mouth! Shut the fuck up, you
Can't hear that.
Yeah.
Chicken burger.
I got no more buttons. I don't know what other buttons to press.
He
Hi, thanks for coming on. I'm worried he's going to fucking try and scare us now.
probably will. He'll probably do something.
Right, so go on, tell me about your journey of being a medium.
So I had something recently,
Okay.
but obviously I didn't see anything, or hear anything.
My ribs.
Yes. But I felt something. So Mum said that she's trying to turn me into a psychic medium because she thinks I have the gift,
Right.
which I don't know. And then so a few weeks back, I normally, because since I got my license, I normally drop Mum to work and picked her up from work
Yeah.
back home. And there was one time she was talking about she was going to this pub in the middle of nowhere, up these country roads. I had to go through all these country roads. It was in, where was it? Almost in Canooden area. But I think it was just before it. I can't remember exactly where. Somewhere around there.
Fanbridge?
And
South Fanbridge?
don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter where the fuck it is.
So she was talking about, she was like, this place is really haunted. Like, apparently it's badly haunted. And I was like, oh, I want to come in after you finish work and that. She was like, all right, yeah, that's fine. She showed me a video that the manager had sent her, and it was someone cleaning in the kitchen, and where the camera was, there was a fridge, and on top of the fridge there was a shelf with like bits on,
Yeah.
and they had like a toilet roll on, but like no, a kitchen roll, and this kitchen roll had just flown off the shelf in the video, and this woman's just turned around and looked, and just gone, right, okay, that was on the shelf, now it's not. And in the video, like, it flew off, like someone like pulled it off and
Yeah.
like, flew. So I went to after I dropped her off, went back home, and she messaged me, picked her up, went to the pub, parked outside, and this bloke come out. And I was like, oh, ghost. I was like, oh, who's you? And he was like, are you here to pick your mum up? And I was like, yeah. He was like, she wants you to come in. And I walked in with this random bloke, and my mum was standing there.
He just ran away and was like, ooh, ghost.
I was like,
I'd have wound him up and gone, please don't touch me.
I walked in, turned around, see this bloke gone, he's disappeared.
There's a ghost.
No, he walked in and I don't know who he was. He was like I don't know if he was a worker there or someone. God knows.
Paper.
Mum,
Snow.
I walked
A
in.
ghost. Sorry. Have you ever watched Friends?
No.
Oh, okay. That's irrelevant. Carry on.
And I walked in and Mum's still in work mode, kind of.
Yeah.
She's sitting there like, "You all right?" I was like, "Hi, Mum." I was like, "Don't hurt me."
She sort of looks possessed, doesn't she, when she works?
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah. And she went, "All right, let's get started then." And I went, "What? No, I just wanted to see some stuff get thrown off the shelves. No, don't drag me into this." And she was like, "All right." So we walked into this room, and there was this woman and that man following us.
Yeah.
And one of them the woman had a notepad and a pen. And Mum told me to go stand in the corner of this pub, like this back room where there was these chairs and tables. She would go stand over there behind that chair. So I did. She went, stand over there and see if you could feel anything. So I stood there.
It's Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile touching you.
Do you feel any pedos touching you?
Yeah, I'm about to come. Sorry. Sorry.
And I was standing there, and I thought,
It's not gay if it's a ghost.
I was like, okay. I was standing there, and I started getting really lightheaded.
Yeah.
And I get really lightheaded, and everything kind of went, I don't know, my sight went tingly.
All right.
And I don't know, it felt really weird. And I leant on the table, and I thought, oh, I'm getting a bit lightheaded here. And then as I had that, I had a pain down here, I don't know, where's the pancreas?
It's somewhere down there.
Somewhere
Like
down
an
there.
abdominal pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a pain down there by my pancreas. And I thought, I've got a sharp pain here. I just felt a sharp pain, just like I've been stabbed.
Yeah.
And then it went. And I went, I've just had a pain down here. And described where it was. And she turned to the woman and went, "Who's blah, blah, blah?" Couldn't remember the name she said. The woman went, "I don't know." She went, "Write his name down." Wrote the name down on the pen, on the notepad. And she went, anyone died there from like pancreas cancer or something like that? And she was like, "Oh, not that I know." Because them people, they don't really know stuff. Because there's a spirit could be there from
Yeah, they're just
hundreds of years
sort
ago.
of like landlords of the pub.
Yeah. There could be a spirit there that the people who own it don't know, because that spirit's been there for God knows how many years. Hundreds, 50s, how many long? Even longer.
50s?
50 years, 100 years, 200 years.
Usually you go up in years, not like 150.
1 hour.
3 hours later.
I was like, oh, right. I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, someone died there of this. I can't remember the exact reason.
Pancreatic cancer.
Something like that.
I don't know.
She was like, all right, come out into the kitchen now. As soon as I walked off, my head went back to normal. My sight, I could see. Everything went back to normal again. So I walked into the kitchen, and she went, all right, just walk around, see what you feel. I was walking around, I was like, yeah.
I feel like I'm hungry.
I was like, where's your bar? You need some food. She was like, all right, stand there. Stood in the middle, and there was the kitchen went back that way, and then the kitchen went up to there, and then there was a door, and then in front of me, there was this little hall bit, because there was a table here. Like,
This is great for the listeners because they can't see any of this.
oh, no, there was a table just to the left of me and a table just to the right, and I could walk straight through to another door
Yeah.
that leads around to the back of the bar. And so we kind of did a circle eventually. And she went, "Let me know if you feel anything." And I was standing there. About 10, 15 seconds went by. I had a sharp pain in my chest,
Yeah.
like my heart.
You go,
And I went,
Jimmy Savile's out again.
Oh.
Oh.
Don't touch down there. I went, "I've got a pain in my chest." So a sharp pain. And then she turned to the woman and went, someone here has died from a heart attack. And then she was like, "Yeah, a bloke has dropped dead right where you're standing because he had a heart attack."
Oh.
I was like, right.
Well, I'm going to move.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm going to step over here. Walked out into the other room, and she went, "Stand there." And then I stood next to this door. She didn't really try explaining it well, because she was like, "All right, go over there." And there was a door there. I was like, "Through the door?" She went, "Just go over there." So I was like, "All right, I'm going to go through the door." And the door was locked. And I was like, "You should have told me not to go through the door and stand next to it." So I stood next to the door, and she went, oh, yeah. Yeah, like that. And I went, "Excuse me?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" "Oh, yeah." She was like, "There's a man standing right next to you on your left." And I thought, I'm going to move. Don't want to stand in him. And then she sent me in a cupboard. And I was like, "Sorry, I've been naughty."
Expelliarmus!
And she went, "What do you feel?" And it felt like there was a woman in there who was sitting in the corner with her hands up to her knees, knees up to like the fetal position. She was like that, hugging her knees, and she was like upset, crying. That's how I felt. And that's what I kind of saw in my head. And I felt like, it feels like really sad and depressing in here. And she went, yeah, this is where, like, because apparently years and years and years back, the uncle, I think, abused her niece, or like, I don't know what happened in there, but it was something, it was a bit buggered up. I was like, yeah. And then she sent me behind the bar, and there was about 10 other people at this bar, and they were all talking. I was standing behind the bar, and my mum was like, all right, what do you feel? And everyone just stopped and stared at me. And I was like, I don't like the pressure.
I couldn't do that because I'm like, I feel like you're all cunts. Put me fingers up and then run away. She'd be like, no, seriously, but sorry.
No, she was like, what do you feel? Again. And I was like, I don't know. So I was sitting there and I was focusing, and I was like,
this is where you should have gone, guess who's back? Saville.
Saville. The woman on the bar, she was leaning on the bar, and then she leant right over and looked at me, and she went, oh, his eyes just went what her eyes looked like, what mum's eyes looked like. Apparently they like did something.
They like blacken. It's really weird.
Yeah. Apparently my eyes did that.
Yeah.
And then mum went, yeah, there was a situation happened where I was standing, where like a girl had a glass thrown in her face or smashed in her face or something, and mum went, I don't like it. Get out from around the bar. And I was like, okay.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want a glass thrown at me, but everyone was looking at me. I was like, pressure.
Yeah.
Push it down. But we did have, it was a weird when was it? 2 weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the crackhead,
yeah,
her grandma,
yeah,
she was staying around. Not that her grandma was staying around, but crackhead was staying around for the weekend. And it got to the Sunday, and her grandma had
staying at yours?
Huh?
Staying at yours?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
And her grandma had called her daughter up, which is crackhead's nan. And
wait, what?
No, yeah, she's got her great nan.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you say grandma.
Yeah, that's what they call her, and yeah. So her great nan had been seeing like people in her house she don't know. One time she had a girl walk up to her because obviously she wanted mum to come round and sort it out. She's nearly 90. She's 89, nearly 90. We ended up going around there Sunday evening.
So her great nan had been seeing things.
Yeah. She lives by herself. Her husband died.
You know, there's a theory behind that.
What?
That people that are older, when I don't want to put anything into existence, touch wood. If you listen to this, crackhead, please don't punch me. But there's a theory behind this.
Yeah.
Of I do this thing where I sit on YouTube in the evening for hours when I'm not doing anything, and I go into like a rabbit hole of theories and speculations of shit. So there's this whole theory that as people get older, obviously when they get into the end of their lifespan, when they start seeing family members that have passed, say like her husband or like a niece that died years ago or whatever, there's a theory that when they start doing that is when their time's coming up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak that to existence.
No, she was seeing people she didn't know. Apparently she didn't know any of them. Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. It's like when they're... Have you ever watched...
Well, that's what Nan saw. She saw Grandad before she passed, didn't she? She's sitting there and she woke up from a nap and he was standing above her.
Yeah. So there's that whole thing of if you know someone's close because they start having like the death rattle, which is like the breathing goes. Yeah. And they start seeing family.
Yeah.
People go, oh, it's a hallucination because they're this and
they're old, they're this.
But there's so much of it, and there's never been any like scientific proof that it's a chemical in your brain that causes like hallucinations. Which, if you're like sleep deprived for so long, it releases chemicals which cause hallucinations, and they've proved that scientifically. Whereas this, they've never proved anything that's released that causes people to hallucinate.
Couldn't find it.
So they now think it's like a near-death experience.
Oh, yeah.
Where they see people that have died.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no.
I just...
Well, no, I think that is true.
She's been seeing people that she doesn't know.
Yeah. Apparently she didn't know these people. She didn't recognise them. Apparently she was sitting in an armchair. Yeah. And I think she was watching TV. And she had a little girl. There's this corner that's really strong in the house. And it was her lounge was massive. It was like the size of our lounge, possibly a bit wider. Apparently this girl come out from the corner, because as you go in, it's long like that, and then there's a wall that kind of goes back by like
To the right.
a foot or two, yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then it carries on going, and then it obviously loops back round.
Yeah.
And behind, and in there in that corner, apparently that's where people were walking from. And apparently this little girl come up to her, waved, stood right in front of her, waved, smiled, and walked off.
I'd have fucking drop-kicked the bitch.
Fuck off! She's nearly 90, so I don't think she can. But she apparently been seeing like a couple walking through, people walking up the stairs, chatting, everything. Hence why she called Mum round.
Yeah.
And so I dropped her there as well. We had Crackhead with us.
Does she like being called Crackhead?
No.
She doesn't?
No.
Okay, well, Crackhead, give us a name for you on the podcast, because...
She's probably going to try and be cocky with it and say some other things, but we'll just make one up for you. Cold start.
Yeah.
So Mum was like, there was a thing with Mum, when she does her reading, she has to take her shoes off. She can't connect with any spirits if she has her shoes on. She struggles to.
It's called grounding.
Yeah. I was like, I've never taken my shoes off and tried. She was like, try it. She went, all right, sit, shoes off. I was like, all right. And there was only really one thing in that house that set me like, can feel someone's it. Is obviously we went into other rooms, and each room, Mum went in. She went into one room and went, there's a bloke over in that corner. John. Who's John? No one knew. Walks into the bathroom, downstairs bathroom, and she went, it's quite sad in here, blah, blah, blah. And I stood in there and I was like, it does feel a bit dull. And then we went upstairs and there was one room, and every room she was going to, she was like, there's people here. Yeah. She was like, she's not hallucinating or anything. She ain't going berserk. She's actually seeing people. And there was this one room. You go up the stairs, to your left. To your left is the upstairs bathroom.
Yeah.
Just in front of you to the right is her room. And then on the right, next to it, is another little room with a single bed in there, like a spare bedroom, I think. Something like that. And Mum was like, I'm going to go to the toilet. You wait in here. So I waited in there and I shut the door. And I thought, I'll just isolate myself in this room and see what I can feel. Turned the light on and I sat on the edge of the bed, in the corner of the bed, and I was sitting there. And I started getting this pain in my head. It's like a migraine kind of. Yeah. It's like a strong pain in my forehead. And Mum walked in. She was like, And I turned to her and I went, I've got like a headache, a banging headache, like massive. And she went, yeah, I've felt that. She was like, I've just felt that as well. I was like, right, okay. So obviously we've gone back downstairs. We've spoke to her and went, who are these people? Do you know them? She was like, I think she named one or two people who matched up. And then we called, but she was like, I don't know anyone else. She's quite old. I don't know if she remembers other people, whatever. So we went back home. We called Crackhead's Nan, which is great Nan's daughter.
So just a Nan. Yeah.
And then we were saying Mum was telling her what she'd seen, what she felt, and there was in that one room. She started talking about it, and apparently she was saying like, who's this bloke, blah blah blah, from that, whatever he was doing, and she was like, that's who. She started actually saying who they were because she knew them. Obviously, her grandma, she didn't know them because I don't know for what reason. She spoke about that one room whom we were in, or I was in, and we walked in there and we had our heads were bang. We walked in there and she was like, who's the woman who died? And I can't remember what. And she went, that's blah, 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 who was in that room. And she died from a brain thing. And we both, literally all of us in the kitchen went, oh my God, like that. That's why I was having that headaches.
I've never spoke to anyone because Mum kept saying to me for years when I was seeing things and going, why don't you try and communicate? I was like, no.
I love it. Everyone
I
hates
like it. No, I don't mind it. It's just I'm comfortable seeing things. I don't know how I'd react if someone was to I did say to her before, I said if someone's going to talk to me, I want to be in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be randomly and just fucking
3 a.m.
I want to sort of be able to sit there and think I'd be now then. But it's a weird one because she said, well, you'd have to sit and basically meditate into it, what she calls tuning in. And I was like, I just don't want to. She said, why don't you come and do a reading for you? I was like, nope. I've done too much dodgy shit in my life that you don't know about, that I don't want you to know about. No, you will kill me and might grass me up to the police. So no.
I'm good, thanks.
And then, do you remember the bloke in my old house that walked through the living room and
No.
walked out of, basically through the fucking window? You do?
Yeah. I remember you saying, but I don't know, obviously, I don't know the bloke.
So, Debbie and Child, they were out.
They were out?
They were out. They were at the house. I was just waiting because you were fucking about that. So they were out. And I was sitting there watching I think I was sitting there watching a film or a series or something. And you remember my old house, it was like you'd walk into the door and it like sort of flowed through.
Yeah.
So as you walk in, you've got the stairs bang in front of you, and then next to the stairs was my sofa. So basically on the right of the stairs. So the sofa backed up to the stairs.
Yeah.
And then in front of the sofa was a wall that sort of come out at a right angle and then shot back. And if you carried walking around, so through the living room, you get to the kitchen, which is what that wall is, like a partitioned wall.
Yeah. But it's kind of all openish.
Yeah, but you couldn't sit. So I used to sit in that corner because it had the L bit.
Yeah.
So I used to sit there and lay there. And I was sitting there watching something on telly. This was like 2:00 in the afternoon. I was just sitting there on the weekend. I think
it's bright as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'd only just got up from being asleep from when I was at work. Yeah. And I was sitting there watching something, and all of a sudden, this bloke walked through the living room. So from the left-hand side, behind that wall that I can't see past. So walked from the left side to the right, and he was walking a dog. I didn't fucking sit around long enough to see what he was looking at. I knew it wasn't real. I can tell you, I knew it wasn't a human or
an actual person
physical being made out of atoms at that point. I literally just see him walk through. It was like a power walk. Walked through with a dog. I know the dog was a German Shepherd. That's all I fucking remember. So he walked through, past me. So I'm sitting on the sofa, telly's on the wall.
Yeah.
Walked like that. Through, past me, and then sort of like vanished through the window and the other sofa. That was it. He'd just gone.
Yeah.
And I got up. I nearly had a fucking heart attack. I promise you, I shit myself. If there's someone breaking in, it's completely different.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I could hear that if they're trying to get in, or if it was someone and they'd walked in, they'd probably run away if they knew someone was there. But this just walked, didn't even acknowledge I was there, just walked straight past the wall in front of me, through the fucking window, gone. But sort of like, as he was walking through the sofa and the wall, just like gradually just went into nothing.
Did he like fade? You could almost see through him.
Yeah, just literally just faded off into nothing. And I know that sounds fucking crazy. No, I'm not a crackhead, but I shit myself because I was sitting on the fucking sofa.
And you're by yourself.
I don't know what happened to my phone in my hand because I lost that for about half hour. Dash shit himself because I fucking jumped. So he was laying in the bed under the telly.
Yeah.
He didn't acknowledge anything.
Which is your old dog.
Yeah. So literally, I fucking launched my phone.
I'm surprised he didn't even see him.
Well, he's asleep, fat fuck. He always should sleep. So he didn't after I fucking jumped. So I was sitting there and I literally just fucking dashed my phone. I was like, whoa, fuck! And just got up and like run to the front door. I don't know why. And I was standing in that little porch area of the front door. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And I was shitting my pants to go back out.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he's still there or if he comes back, I'm going to crap myself. I don't know who this person is. He's got a big doggy. And Dash sort of just started fucking, he jumps up and started barking at me. I was like, fuck off, you fat little prick. And I found my phone. I'd thrown it at like the wall and it was sitting next to the other sofa. So I picked my phone up and I went and sat upstairs in the bedroom, hid under my covers like a baby. I went upstairs to change my boxers and I text Debbie and I said, a man has just walked through the house with his dog. And I didn't reply for about 2 minutes.
So she's thinking someone's broke in.
So she's gone, what? What the fuck's going on? She tried ringing me. And then I texted back, I went, no, it wasn't a person. I said, it was a ghost. And she was like, why didn't you fucking say that? I was like, well, I don't know. She was like, I thought someone broke in. I was like, well, they did, technically. Don't live there, do they?
Weren't invited.
And to this day, I have no idea who it was. And I don't really know what he looked like. Yeah, it was just a really weird, and that was the one that, this is why I say if I'd ever speak to someone, I'd want to be prepared for it because that fucking scared the lot. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
I literally had a panic attack upstairs. I remember sitting on my bed with my hands in my head, and I couldn't breathe. It felt like someone was standing on my chest. I had a full-on fucking panic attack in the bedroom.
Bloody hell.
And I was sitting there, I was like, oh my fucking God, this is it. I'm going to die. I'm a goner. And then I calmed down, and I walked back downstairs. I was like, I've got to get out. So I literally got my keys out of the kitchen. Everything left on. The telly was left on. Everything. I don't know. The back door was locked. I kicked the dog out the fucking arse. And then I just went out. I went and got in the van and just fucked off out.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, and I said I can't be in there on my own at the moment. I said I don't know why. It feels really fucking eerie. It's just not a nice feeling. It felt like. Have you ever felt like impending doom?
Yeah. I know what you mean by when you're in there by yourself. You just don't want to be there.
Yeah, and I'd sit in these rabbit holes or go down these rabbit holes for hours. I don't know. I get really weird on things like feelings. So apparently, like a feeling of impending doom means you're gonna die. Apparently. Uh-huh. So then I'd had this fucking panic attack, and then when I was downstairs, it felt like something bad was gonna happen. Like I had like an external feeling of something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I get that sometimes.
And I just thought something really fucking bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get out. And because I'd watched these videos, I was convinced that if I'd stayed at home, I was going to die.
Yeah.
And then I said to Debbie, I said, when you go home, let me know, and I'll come back. So then I met them and come back in, normal, fine. And then from then on, obviously we've moved now, but from then on, nothing. Fuck it was. I don't ever want to see that person again. Your dog's a prick. So fuck
I wonder
it.
if the new owners had seen anything.
I don't know.
Possibly.
But that was the only. Was that the only one? I think that's the only time I've ever seen anything in that house. Other than that, everything had been at the old house.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't know. I'm trying to think of what other. There's been like
so many
fucking things that had happened and like weird things. I remember walking out of my bedroom once in the old house when I lived at home. And obviously I had my room, and then it was your room then, which was Jake's old room.
Yeah.
And then Mum and Dad's room to the left, and then obviously their wardrobe thing and the toilet. So I remember walking out of my room, and as I've walked to go down the stairs on the right, Mum and Dad's room is on the left, or to the left forward. I just see like a shadow in their room, and I thought it was Dad's suit thing. So,
hanging on the door.
Yeah, like on his wardrobe.
Yeah.
I thought he had a suit out in like his dresser. I don't know what the fuck it is. Like a suit. What is it? What would you call it? Like a suit bag.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was that hanging on his wardrobe.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything of it at the time. I literally just walked, and do you know when you sort of see something out the corner of your eye?
Mm-hmm.
And I see it and walked out, and then about 10 minutes later I'd come back upstairs to go into my room, and I looked, nothing there. And it was about half an hour later. I was like, well, hang about. There's something there a minute ago. What the fuck? It's just weird shit like that.
Yeah. Odd stuff you see and you think.
Or when I was home alone when everyone was out, and you'd hear like footsteps.
Oh, you used to hear
downstairs,
footsteps.
or I'd hear footsteps. The worst one was I had a lock on my door. Like in the inside, I had a little slide bolt.
Yeah.
So I could bring bitches back. Sorry, Debbie. So I just fitted a slide bolt to the door. So fuck it. And I remember I'd locked the door locked. There was no one there. It was just me. But I got into a habit of locking the door. And I remember sitting on my bed watching telly, and I heard footsteps come up the steps. I was like, oh my fucking God, there's someone in the house. So I'd unlocked the door, poked my head out. I was about 19, poked my head out. Hello? If you're there, I'm a dangerous man. I'm a brown belt in karate. Nothing.
No, nothing.
Yeah, and you just used to hear random shit. And then in the end, you just start getting used to weird noises. And then sometimes there was times I thought where people were in the house, like mum and dad or you, and hear noises. And then I'd go downstairs like half an hour later. No one was in. And I'd ring mum, like, where the fuck are you? She's like, oh, we're in Basildon.
When did you go there?
Yeah.
Like, I've been there for about 2 or 3 hours.
You'd
be like, hold on.
She was like, you were asleep when we left. I was like, one, why are you in Basildon? It's just shithole. Two, there's someone in the fucking house. Yeah, it's just fucking weird.
I remember I was in my old room. It was either that. I think it was in my old room. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was either that, or it was either that was my room at the time, getting ready to go out, or it was just the wardrobe, and I was just in there. I don't know why. And I remember I was by myself in the house, and above was the loft. But obviously there was you couldn't get up to where it was, like that part in the house.
That is where I draw the line.
What?
The loft.
Why?
Any noises from the loft?
Yeah.
I'm out of the house. That is just the worst place to hear a noise.
Oh.
Have you ever watched like the films where there's noises in the attic, and they like open the hatch up, and they poke their head up, and then they pan the camera around. There's nothing, and then they go back the other way, and then there's like a little doll poking out from a box. Like, sorry, Kai. No, any noises in the loft? No, thank you. You can have the loft.
Well, no, it was just weird. I was getting ready to go out, and all of a sudden I was by myself in the house, and I was in that little room, and directly above me was footsteps going along, just boof, 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 walking forward around, and I thought, you can't walk up there. Why am I hearing footsteps?
Yes.
It was really weird.
Well, you can walk up there, but there's so much shit up there.
Well, where it was, you couldn't really walk.
Oh, like right in the eaves of the fucking house. Yeah.
I was like, what? I got so confused, and I was like, right, that's weird. And
It's just a midget ghost that didn't touch the fucking timbers.
And I wonder why the footsteps are so close together. What else have I seen? I've seen stuff. I've felt stuff. I've seen stuff. I just can't remember.
Do you remember? I know you know about this one, and Mum still finds this funny to this day. The one of where I was laying in bed with Daisy, my dog, by the way. I haven't got an ex-girlfriend called Daisy, my old doggy. So I was laying in bed, and she used to sleep with me in bed.
Yeah.
And it must have been about 10 o'clock on a Friday night, because I was like so fucking cool and went out all the time when I was like 17. So I think I was like drifting off to sleep. Mum and Dad were still downstairs watching telly. And I knew this because, do you remember when Dad used to have the fucking TV like turned to the max when everyone went to bed?
Yeah.
But really quiet in the day?
Yeah.
So they done that. So my door was closed, and have you ever sort of half drifted off to sleep where you're sort of asleep but you're still
conscious?
Yeah.
You still know.
So you still know what's going on around you, but you're like in that weird fucking zone of sleep and awakeness. Yeah. So I was just drifting off to sleep, and I had Daisy next to me, and she was just snuggled up to me, and I was laying there, and all I heard in my ear was, Charlie. And the fucking third one, I thought I was asleep and dreaming it. But then the second time, I then realised that I was awake. Yeah. I'd now woken up from this weird fucking state. The third, and I looked around, nothing. And but I didn't sit up. I just opened my eyes. I was like, well, that was a fucking weird dream. And then I was like, I wasn't actually asleep. And then the third one, I heard, Charlie. Like really quick. And that I fucking got up, I fucking grabbed Daisy. I just yanked her up. She was asleep. I was just like, come with me. And I run downstairs with her, just holding her like this. Bear in mind, she was a big old staff.
Oh, yeah.
And I just carried her down the stairs. And Mum was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, there was someone in my room and they're talking to me. She was like, why are you holding the dog? I was like, I'm not leaving her on her own, am I? She might get eaten by this fucking demon. She was like, put her down. I was like, no, I'm protecting her. And Mum just laughed at me. I was like, it's not funny. She was like, no, it's fine. I was like, was you dreaming? I said, I thought I was dreaming. And then on the third time that they said my name, I realised I was awake. Yeah. I was fully fucking conscious of that third time they called my name. I was fully conscious. And I heard, but it was literally in my right ear. Like someone was laying next to me on my bed and just whispered in my ear. And I was like,
where was your bed at the time? As soon as you walked in?
No, it was behind. As you go in on the left-hand side of the room, as you walk through the door, left behind the door.
So you was facing your room, kind of, and not the wall.
I was facing the door. So you had, if you walk into my room, turn left, the bed was there, and my head was up the end.
All right.
Where the radiator and the window was there. So I was facing the door. So when I heard it, I just literally fucking yanked Daisy, just chucked her over my shoulder like the hero, like the hero fireman I am. And just fucking yeeted her down the stairs with me. I think I jumped all these steps as well. I just fucking launched myself. Yeah, Mum was like, you sure you wasn't dreaming? I said, no, I promise you, I'm awake. On this third one, I said, someone fully said my name in my ear. And it creeped me out because it was so close to my ear. And she just started laughing at me. I was like, no, Mum, this is not funny. I was like, I do not want to go back in that room. She was like, you'll be fine. I was like, no, don't try and do this to me. Don't try and patronise me. I don't want to go in there. And then I sat downstairs till about 1 o'clock, and then everyone went to bed. Well, Mum went to bed ages before that, but then Dad went to bed. I was like, well, I'm not fucking staying here on my own. So I was like, Daisy, you're coming back with me. And just picked her up again off the sofa. I was like, come on. And then but I remember laying there and I was so conscious for ages that someone was going to say my name again. So I like laid onto the side, on my side, and just like cuddled Daisy. I was like, I'm not religious, but at this moment in time I am. It was fucking horrible. That is literally the only time I've heard anything.
Yeah.
The one time. Yeah. Oh, you can ask Mum about that one because she still finds it funny.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So that must have been about 10 years ago.
Oh.
Other than that, there's nothing really that stands out that I can think of. Maybe we will come back and do a part 2.
I was gonna say I need to go pick Mum up from work.
Yeah. Okay.
You still got more stories, haven't you?
I've got a few.
Yeah.
Got a few stories.
I'm gonna go. I do know I have some stories, so when I think of them, I'm gonna write them down.
Yeah.
So I can remind in my head.
Yeah,
but
I know there's more because I've been to a lot of Mum's shows.
Yeah.
So obviously, when I started driving, I used to do the same. I used to take her, pick her up, but then there were sometimes I'd stay.
Yeah.
There's loads about people that never believed in any of it, and Mum has basically made people cry. And there's times that she's predicted people being pregnant and people I know, and there's another time that I'll do this. This is the last one, and then the rest I write down, and we'll do a part 2 next week.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2.
Yeah, or maybe we'll do a part 2 in. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I remember this was just before me and Dehebi got together. So I was 18. I had that BMW. I had the blue one, the new one, and I was out in that, and I was in. I'm not going to say where I was, but I was going around like country up. I was doing shit I shouldn't have been doing. Let's just leave it at that. Right. I was meeting people I should not be meeting, and I was doing stuff that I should not be doing and would probably get arrested for. So we'll leave it there. I'm not going to incriminate myself anymore.
Allegedly.
I was 18. I was earning money. So I was out, and Mum had tried ringing me a couple of times. I didn't answer it because I was driving and I had people in my car. So I pulled over into that BP garage down by Swain. Yeah, the 24-hour one.
Yeah, the green, the big green one opposite the car. Is it the car dealership?
Yeah, that's the one. So I pulled into there, and a couple of the people I was with went in and got something to eat and whatever else. And I don't know. And I rang Mum back. I got out of the car and rang Mum back.
Yeah.
She went, "Where are you?" She wasn't working. She went, "Where are you?"
What time was this?
At 10 o'clock.
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went, "Where are you?" I said, I'm just pulled over to ring you. Why? What are you doing? I said, I'm just out with friends. No, you're not. I went, I am. Ooh. And she went, I say this because no one's going to fucking know where it is anyway. And if they do, then it's not going to say anything. She went, why was you in Malden? I went, what? She went, why was you in Malden? How did you know I was in Malden? She said, I'll find out. She went, I know what you've been doing. I was like, no, I fucking hope not. And she went, when are you coming home? I said, I don't know, in a few hours. She went, so who are you with? I said, will you stop fucking asking me questions?
What are you, a police officer?
Yeah, I said, why are you asking me so many questions? And she went, I'm just asking, I'm making sure you're all right. I said, I'm fine. Okay, well, that's why I rang you, I was just making sure you're all right. And then I got really pissed off on the phone because I knew she was onto me. Yeah. But I was trying to play it off. And she kept asking question after question after question. And I was like, please, I'm fine. I went, just leave me be for a few hours. I said, I'll be home tonight. I think it's because I used to just disappear as well for like a couple of days and go stay at people's houses and shit. And I went, I'll be home tonight. I said, like early hours in the morning, maybe earlier. I said, I'm fine. Just stop fucking ringing me and stop asking me questions. I said, I'm okay. She went, oh, okay, I'll just make sure you're all right. I was like, yes, right, bye. And she's never, ever said anything other than that. She never questioned me when I got home or the next day.
Did you speak to her about it or no?
Nope. That is the only time she's ever brought it up. Was that night.
What if it wasn't her?
What, it was her. Well, my mum, but I hope it's her. It said mum on the phone. It sounded like mum. But yeah, how she knew where I'd been. She knew I was doing something.
And this was years ago, so like...
Yeah, it's when I was 18.
Apps on your phone. She doesn't know how to work that stuff with like trackers on your phone and stuff.
She barely knows how to fucking ring anyone.
I know. How do I ring this bloke? How do I ring my friend?
I don't know how, but I've got off Facebook Messenger. How do I get back on it? But yeah, it was just weird how she knew that I was out doing shit I shouldn't be doing. and she knew I was with people that I shouldn't be with and not likely to get myself in trouble. And then that played in the back of my head.
You got stitched up by a ghost.
So it got to about 12 o'clock, and I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm going home. And I just went home. So, yeah. And then she's never mentioned anything about it. She's never mentioned if she knew who I was with. She never mentioned if she knew what I was doing.
Shall I ask her when I pick her up from work?
No. No. Do not ask her, because if she does know, I don't want to know that she knows what I was doing. And I also don't want you to know when I was...
I think I know what you was doing.
Yeah. Maybe.
She was driving around. Yes, I think so. You was driving about.
It's irrelevant what I was doing, okay, but I was doing stuff.
This was years ago.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just weird. But don't fucking bring it out of her, for Christ's sake.
So this thing Charlie did years ago.
Because if she does know.
You knew he was somewhere.
I don't want her to know. It's like, this is when she says to me, do you want to read it? And I'm like, no.
Rather not.
Because then I know that you know what I know. And that is not something I want you to know. You know?
You know?
Yeah.
Do I know?
No.
But do you know it?
Yeah, you know loads of stuff I've done.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But do you know?
Sometimes. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
You know.
Yeah. So should we leave it at that?
Yeah, let's leave part
we'll
2.
do a part 2, maybe next week, maybe in a few weeks. We'll see how people enjoy
I say
this.
crack it next week.
All right, well, yeah, fuck it. We'll do a part 2 next week.
We'll put another story up for another ghost story. I don't know.
No, we won't, because you can't fucking give shit replies, so...
Yeah. All right, then.
Fuck all of you.
I need to go pick Mum up. So, anyways, thank you guys for listening to today's episode. We hope you enjoyed. It was a bit of a different one. Few...
Spooky one.
Yeah, it's a spooky one.
I will call it a controversial episode, because I can guarantee there's going to be people that listen that don't believe in any of this stuff, which is fine. I'm not saying you should believe it because we've seen stuff.
Yeah. If you don't believe it, you don't believe it. It's fine. But obviously, if you do, these are our stories. These are only few. I've still got stories.
Yeah.
But we'll explain them on the next episode, because obviously it was getting an hour in and now, and I've got to go.
Yeah.
I'll pick Mum up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a controversial one, but I mean, if you don't believe it, I mean, just listen and we might change your mind. You never know. Something might happen in the future with you. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
We shall see.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Follow us on Instagram, which is at Brothers_unplugged_podcast. Link is also in description. We've got a 200 follower giveaway. When we hit 200 followers, we're doing it on live on Instagram. Follow us on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. Also on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on there and rate us 5 stars. Also our TikTok. There's a ghost duck in here somewhere. Follow our TikTok. We got some TikToks going up every now and again.
Have you done any more?
Nope.
Have you done the YouTube shorts?
Yeah.
How many?
1.
Okay.
I think
he's going to do the YouTube shorts.
I'm going to put some YouTube shorts out, see if that does anything.
He's also going to do the TikTok.
Let's see how it's done. But yeah, so check us out on Instagram where we have a giveaway. You could win a hat, some stickers, and some mystery stuff. You never know.
Getting free shit.
Yeah. Have our expenses.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Share us about. Get some more followers in. Let your family know. Let your friends know. Whoever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah. But,
join the cults.
Join it.
Let's not call it a cult, actually.
Yeah, no, that's bad. Join the... Not gang.
Fuck
join the group.
Join the cult.
Yeah. We'll carry this on next week, maybe?
Part 2.
Part 2 next
Coming
week.
soon.
Yeah.
To a garage near you.
Garage near you? That's creepy.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Right, well, I'm going to go pick Mum up and see if I see any spooky things on the way.
Yeah.
Maybe something will happen in the next week that we'll come back on and be like, oh, I've seen this.
I'll be honest, I hope not.
I hope so.
Nope.
I hope.
I'm getting old now, right? My heart can't take much.
I can.
I can't. Right?
Oh.
I'm losing my hair already.
I hope I see something.
Right? I've got fucking stomach problems.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have an intestine problem.
Really?
I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh.
I can't do it anymore. I'm getting old and frail.
Can't do this.
So yeah. Right. Anyway.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll carry this on. If you do have any stories, actually, no, you can't message because of the no, sod yourselves, because none of you actually replied properly anyways. We're just playing random stuff over it now. I can't hear. Right then.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.